How to have it all in 2024. Today's January 2nd. It's the day after New Year's, and it's the beginning of a new year. Beginning of a new year that fills us with lots of hope and excitement of how this could be the year that we change our lives, that we change who we are, and we step into a vision of our life that we've always wanted. Now, in the midst of this excitement of the year that is about to begin, there are many of you who are already discouraged. I've already given up. So it's not even worth going through the time and the effort because I'm just going to be let down again. I'm going to be filled with disappointment. I'm going to be filled with pain. Being disillusioned by setting goals and then seeing year after year after year them not coming to fruition. Well, today we're going to talk about how to change that narrative, how to flip the script. So before we do, I want to talk about the have it all lifestyle. What is the have it all lifestyle? The have it all lifestyle is to have peace, to have joy, to have contentment in all four domains of our life. So we're going to take our life, we're going to break it into four domains. The first is the body domain, which is about our physical health. It's about how we look. It's about how we feel. It's about our health, how strong we are, how vital we are, how energetic we are. If our body is weak, if we don't have energy, nothing else will go. It's just so much harder. So we want to be strong in our body. That will filter out to the other domains. The second domain is the being domain, which is about our spiritual health. We have our body domain, which is the physical health, and we have our being domain, which is our spiritual health. Where are we at spiritually? What are our beliefs in our relationship with God? How do we interact? How do we connect with ourselves in the being domain? This is really important because this often gives people the purpose that the other domains never deliver. Then we move to the third domain, and the third domain is the balance domain. This is the domain of relational health. How strong are our relationships? Do our relationships make us better, or are relationships a burden? Are they a task? Do they exhaust us? Are they filled with stress and volatility? When we're strong relationally, everything else seems to fall in place. If we're weak relationally, everything else oftentimes doesn't matter. And finally, we have the business domain, which is financial health. This is about how much money do we make? How much money do we save? What does our financial foundation look like? And what do we do for a living? Do we have a business? Do we have a job? Is it in alignment with the other domains? Does our day-to-day activity bring us joy and fulfillment, or is it a place of constant combat and stress and negativity? When we're strong in all four domains, we have the have it all lifestyle. Now, at any given point, one of these is going to be weaker than the other, and that's okay. And sometimes it's a little bit of a juggling situation where one gets a little weak for a while, then you have to change your focus and lift it up. And you kind of keep all of them in place. But when you're really strong, they do not exist in parallel, they exist interdependently. So when you're strong in your body, it makes you better in your relationships, it makes you better spiritually, it makes you better in your business. When your business is doing well, you have more resources to do things with your body. You have purpose through your being, and you have resources to be able to have balance. When your balance is going well, then it's easy to take care of yourself. It's easy to believe in God and you show up much better at work. So you see, all four of these play off each other. And if you're weak in any one of them, it's like having four tires on your car. Each domain represents one tire, one wheel. And if one of them is flat, if you've blown a tire in one domain, think about how your car is going to drive. It's going to drive incredibly rough. You're going to do damage to the other wheels. You're going to do damage to the car, which is your life. So we want to be strong in all four domains. Now, when we look at these four domains, how was your 2023? We just wrapped up the year. Many of you, this was the fastest year of your life. You can't even believe where the time went. So, how was your 2023? What were your goals? We went back a year ago. What were your goals for this year? Did you even have any goals? And how did you do? Did you reach those goals? If not, why not? What did it cost you by not reaching your goals? You sit here a year later. What did it cost you now in the last year that nothing has changed? Many of you, it got worse. Some of you, it cost you your relationship. It cost you your marriage. It cost you your relationship with your kids. Some of you watched your business go backwards. Some of you watched yourself get heavier, get fatter, get more unhealthy, do more destructive things, do more sedation to yourself, and in the process, lose connection with yourself. This brings you to spiritual. Are you connecting with yourself? Are you connecting with God? Do you feel more distant than you did a year ago? Do you find it harder to connect with yourself, to actually feel what you feel inside? So, one of the things I want to talk about is resolutions, right? Today's the biggest day of the year for resolutions. Everybody set their resolutions on New Year's Eve. And oftentimes what people do is they set their New Year's Eve, they set their resolutions on New Year's Eve or the days right before, and they give themselves one last pass. New Year's Day, that's the last pass. So I'm going to eat better in 2024, but I'm going to give myself New Year's Day, and January 2nd, I'm in. Or I'm going to work in a new workout routine. And January, I'm going to give myself the first just to relax. But on the second, I'm all in, right? So today's the day the gyms are the busiest. This is the day that people's resolve is the highest. This is probably the day of the lowest sugar consumption of the year, lowest alcohol consumption of the year, because everybody's on the bandwagon. So let's look at this. When people set a resolution, how long does it last? How many people actually follow through? It's pretty discouraging because what you're going to see is in the first 3 months, 53% of people who set a New Year's resolution quit in the first quarter. They're out. No more. 53%. Now, if we go all the way through over the course of the year, notice that by 6 months, by halfway through, almost everybody's gone. 66, 75, 80% of the people in the first 6 months quit. 80%. And only 6% of people who actually set a resolution are still working towards it at the end of the year. 94% quit. So that means almost everybody, all of you watching this means that 19 out of 20 of you watching this right now had some kind of resolution or goal last year that you quit on. That's pretty discouraging. So, where are you currently with your body? Are you happy where you are in your body domain? If not, why not? What needs to change? Why does it need to change? Where are you currently with your being? Where are you relationally with yourself and with God? Some of you don't even believe in God. You got to work out, you got to come to grips with that. What does that mean for you? Third, where are you currently at with your balance? Where are you in your marriage? Where are you with your kids, with your children? We haven't got to business yet, right? We've covered body, being, and balance. I want to talk about this for a moment because there are the things that matter most in life. I was on vacation last week and we were at the swimming pool and I was playing with my 5-year-old daughter. There were tons of kids at the pool. And it was pretty sad because I was the only parent in the pool with their kid. The only one. It's an indoor swimming pool, the place is full, there's people everywhere, and all the parents are like this, not paying attention to their kid. And mind you, a lot of these kids are not playing together. They're all out there by themselves. The parents are just on their phones. I thought that was really sad. There's an opportunity for me to make a magic moment with my daughter, to really connect with her, to give her something that she will remember for years to come. Go and ask my other girls that are more grown up now, they're 21 and 24, and you ask them, and one of the things they'll always tell you is some of their greatest memories were us being on vacation and me throwing them around in the pool or playing with them on the beach or just doing silly, fun things, being present with them. Where are you in your balance? Where are you with your kids? Are you one of them on the phone? Are you one of them that ignores your kids? And then you wonder why you don't have a relationship with them? See, I work with some of the most successful traders on the planet. People are hedge fund managers, people that run proprietary trading firms. People have been some of the largest traders in the United States in different commodities or different stocks. People that, by society's view, are incredibly successful, multimillionaires or bigger. And what's so interesting is that so many of the people I work with, so many of the traders I work with, when they come to me, they're all about making money, making money, making money. And they want to make money. And I want them to make money. But all the other areas of their life are broken. Their marriages suck, if they're even married. Many of them have been divorced more than once. Relationships with their kids, broken. Their bodies, 300 pounds, 250 pounds, morbidly obese, eat like shit, don't work out, drink, don't sleep, on all kinds of drugs so that they can sleep. They have sleep apnea and they have machines and they have all this other stuff and they're physically a wreck. And then spiritually, don't believe in God, really angry with God, unable to connect with themselves, very suppressed, very repressed. They just want to make more money. See, and what they're trying to do is they're hoping that if they can make enough money, it's going to fill the hole that sits inside of them. It's a lie. It is a lie. So many of them are unhappy. So ironically, they come to me, they come worked with me to figure out how they're going to trade better. And we do that, of course, but you know what we do? We focus on how do they live better? How do they live better? And then you start to see their marriages come back. You start to see them have deepening relationship with their children and being able to connect with them. You start to see them physically rise and start to eat better and start to work out and take care of themselves and get great medical care. Not drugs from the doctor, but actually being proactive and taking supplements and getting things tested and making sure in the great place. You start to see them open up about the possibility of a relationship with God or going deeper in their relationship. You start to see them meditate and clear their mind and connect with themselves. You start to see all these things happen. And guess what? As all these things start to happen for them, they start to trade better. They start to make even more money because then everything they're doing in their trading starts to make sense. Everything they do in their trading starts to build these other areas, not take away from them or replace them. See, that's why this shit is so important. There's so much more to making money. It's interesting right now, I've been reading a book over break called Born to Be Rich. And it's written by the famous, I have it right here. It's a famous author who passed away last year. Um, oh yeah, Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor's amazing on mindset. And there's a story in Born Rich that's really fascinating. It's right here. Talks about in 1923, 8 of the world's wealthiest financiers met at the Edgewater Beach Hotel in Chicago. These 8 men at the time controlled more money than the United States government. Think about that. Their collective wealth and what they controlled was bigger than the US government. It included the president of the largest independent steel company, the president of the largest gas company, the greatest wheat speculator, the president of the New York Stock Exchange, a member of the president's cabinet, the greatest bear on Wall Street, the head of the world's greatest monopoly, and the president of the Bank of International Settlements. These are 8 of the most powerful people in finance, all of them really wealthy. Yeah, so you had these incredibly successful men all gathered in one place. And supposedly they all had found the secret of making money. 25 years later, Charles Schwab, head of US Steel, died bankrupt. Howard Hobson, the president of the natural gas company, went insane. The greatest weed speculator, Arthur Cutten, died insolvent. The president of the New York Stock Exchange went to prison. A member of the presidential cabinet, Albert Fall, was pardoned from prison so he could die at home. Jesse Livermore committed suicide. The head of the greatest monopoly, Ivor Kruger, killed himself. And the president of the Bank of International Settlements, Leon Fraser, also died of suicide. They basically, 3 of the 8 killed themselves, and all of them died broke. Wealthiest men in America. You think money solves your problems? It doesn't solve them. It helps. Can help solve your problems, but it does not solve your problems. It's usually an amplifier of your problems. So, with that, where are you currently with your business, your business domain? Are you having the kind of success you'd like to have, or are you struggling? All right, so let's look at the top resolutions that people set. These are the top resolutions for 2024. One of the things I want you to notice is look at the top 5. Improve fitness, improve finances, improve mental health, lose weight, improve diet. What I want you to notice is there's nothing in there about relationships. There's nothing in there about marriage. There's nothing in there about being a parent. There's nothing in there about your spiritual health, maybe a little bit of mental health, but there's nothing in there about your connection with God. The things that I find people are most fulfilled by, that bring in the greatest level of joy in their life, their spiritual connection and the connection with their wife and kids or their spouse and kids. None of them are in the top 5. You can see finally at 6, it starts to show up more time for loved ones. Think about that. Everybody is striving towards the wrong goal. They're moving towards the wrong thing. The thing that will bring them joy, they don't even have on their radar. So I want you to see this and think about it when you are putting your goals together for this year. So if you do what you did in 2023 and you repeat it in 2024, where are you going to be at? One of my favorite quotes is from Albert Einstein, where he says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So if you're going to do the same things you did last year, why is it this year going to be any different? What do you want? Are you clear about what you want? It's so interesting. I ask people, what do they want? You know what they tell me? They tell me what they don't want. What do you want? Well, I don't I don't want to work in my business anymore. I hate my clients. When I asked, I didn't answer what I asked you. I asked you what you wanted, not what you didn't want. Are you clear about what you want? What do you want for your body? What do you want to look like? What do you want to feel like? How do you want to carry yourself? What do you want in your being? What do you want your connection with God to look like? How do you want to connect with yourself? Are you going to be meditating? Are you going to be praying? Are you going to be doing other various things? What do you want to do in balance? What do you want in balance? What do you want in your marriage? What do you want in your relationships with your family and your friends? And then finally, what do you want in business? Okay. And then how are you going to make sure you get there? A couple things I want to throw out. People with goals are 10 times more likely to succeed than those who do not have goals. 10 times. If you don't have goals, you're just wandering. We get what we focus on. So you want to focus on what you want. If you don't have goals, you're not focusing on anything. You're just randomly picking up what's around you. This is a very interesting little study here. This was done in Canada, where they took students, and the students who had a goal around what they were trying to accomplish in school versus those that didn't. The group with the goals basically scored out about a third better than those who did not. So today I'm going to share with you 6 steps for succeeding in your goals in 2024. So these are things that are a little different than what you typically hear. 1, write down your goals. Write them down. You can type them up too, it's fine, but writing them down is even better. So, people with written goals are 42% more likely to succeed than people with unwritten goals. So, if you have your goals in your head, you carry them around in your head, your chances of succeeding is much lower than if you write them down. 2, your purpose for the goal is as or more important than the goal itself. Your purpose is the why, it's the juice behind the goal. Your ability to succeed will be determined by how strong your why is. So, the goal you have, is it a nice to have or is it a must? Because in life, we get our musts. If I hear somebody say, not another moment, not another day, I am making this change, period. I must change. They're going to change. Absolutely no doubt about it. But if it's like, yeah, I'd like to lose 20 pounds. That would be nice. If I could lose 20 pounds, that would feel pretty good. Ain't happening. It's not strong enough. Our purpose, our why has to be strong. So here's some suggestions for creating a great purpose statement. Answer these questions. How does it make you feel? And it should make you feel really, really good. It should make you feel excited or grateful or jacked or strong or confident. With this goal, who do you become in the process? The process will drive you to be a better version of yourself. And you can begin acting as this better version of yourself right now. If any of you remember the Have Do Be Trader Tip Tuesday I did a few months ago, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Have Do Be will change your life. I can't tell you how many students I've had come back to me and say that the Have Do Be talk changed their life. So go back and watch it if you haven't watched it. If you do, you have watched it, you know what I'm talking about. Third question, what does it mean for you to accomplish this goal? Does it give you something? Does it change your status? Does it change your wealth? Does it change your domains? And finally, how do others view you in the process after achieving this goal? Answer these questions and they'll be really helpful. Number 3, review your goals regularly. So, of all of your goals, one of them should be the most important goal, your top goal. And then what I suggest you do is you take the top goal and you write it down every morning and every night by hand. What I do is I have my iPad and I write my goals in my iPad. I use a program called Notability. And I basically come in here and I write my goals every every morning and every night. Because when we write by hand, we program our subconscious mind. Okay, so you can do this just with your top goal to keep it simple. Takes you 10 seconds to do. It's a really good little routine to do. And the rest of your goals, you should look at them once a week when you do your weekly planning. Okay, number four, break the goal down into small steps. This is one of the areas I always struggled with. I'd have these great, phenomenal, big, hairy, audacious goals, right? And I'd be so excited about them. But sometimes there's a big problem between having this really big goal and then being over here because we don't know how to get there. And pretty soon, that goal starts to just become an illusion, starts to become a fantasy, not practical. Okay, so we want to break it down into small steps. And what I found to be really effective for me is I create a monthly sprint. So what I do is I once a month I take out the calendar, I look at where I'm at with my goals and what I need to get done in a month, and then I look at what I have going. What are my previous commitments that are already in the calendar? Maybe I have like in December. It's hard for me to get a lot done in December because I take a lot of time off. I don't have 4 weeks to get stuff done. I have more like 2.5. Okay, so I have to adjust. My goals have to be adjusted. So I can't have huge goals that I expect to make major progress on in December is not enough time. All right. So, but January is different. So I lay all that out. I see what my prior commitments are. I see what my goals are. And then when I start to put it to the calendar, it starts to give me a good tempo and helps me to be realistic about what I can actually get done. And then I make sure that what's most important goes on the calendar first. By doing this monthly, this blocks out those times for me that help me to stay ahead of the game. Five, weekly planning to give your focus to every day. So if I plan out my week, the month, what you'll find is if you do this monthly sprint, most of your month is filled in. So when you go to do your weekly planning, it actually goes quite quickly because there's already a bunch of stuff in the calendar you've committed to. So now it's just more fine tuning, adjusting, and making progress. So when we do our weekly planning, we review our annual goals, we look at our monthly sprint, we establish our top priorities for the week, we put them in the calendar. And then one of the things I'm always asking myself, I have an acronym I created, which is WTL. It's WWTF, it's WTL. WTL stands for who, for technology, and for leverage. Who can I get to help me with this? How can I use technology to get it done faster or easier? And how can I leverage what I'm doing in other areas of my life? So when I have something I want to get done for the week, rather than me being the one who does everything, I go, who can I get to do this for me? Oftentimes, things I need to get done, someone else will do it for me. Then I use technology all the time to make things go faster, to make them automated so I never have to do them again. And then leverage, okay, if I do this thing in my body this week, if I do these workouts, can I leverage them somewhere else? Or if I, like here, I'm doing Trader Tip Tuesday right now. This Trader Tip Tuesday talk we're doing right now has already been used in at least 3 other talks I've done. So I've leveraged it. I've put this together. I did it in a sales presentation. I did it in my unchurch. Those are just 2 places, for example. And then we'll make a bunch of shorts out of this. And this will be come out in Facebook and TikTok and LinkedIn. It helps me provide great content. So I'm leveraging my efforts to get more and more use out of it. Finally, 6, join a mastermind group or get an accountability partner. One thing that's really big is you want to surround yourself with people who remind you more of your future than of your past. This is from Dan Sullivan. This is a famous strategic coach. So I have a mastermind group. I'm in 2 mastermind groups actually. And both of them, I have close friendships with both. And the thing I have in common in both places is I'm surrounded by other incredibly successful men that we're all trying to go after creating a have it all lifestyle, building a great life. And so it's great, especially one group I'm in, especially it's a small group that I'm very intimate with everybody in the group. They know my story, they know all my shit, and I know theirs. I know the crazy stuff that's happened to them. They know the crazy stuff I've been through. So we're there to support each other. And so when there's a problem, not starting from square one, I already know what they've been going through. So I can quickly be able to one, listen and understand where they're coming from, and two, be able to give them good advice because I know them. I understand them. So then we push each other. There's some people in my group are freaking crazy. Guys that write an entire book over a weekend. There's one guy in my group every 2 weeks, he's coming out, he's done something else like major. I'm like, I don't even know how you do this. They're really inspirational to me to be in the same group with him. You need this. You need this. This is big. Look at this stat. People that set actionable tasks and then report their progress to a supportive peer achieve their goals 40% faster, 40% faster than those who had written goals but no action commitments and no accountability. And then this one, I love this headline: How to give yourself a 95% chance of achieving your goal. Basically, what this study showed is that if you have an accountability partner and you continue to use them, okay, you keep using them, 95% of people accomplish their goals that have an accountability partner. This is why Weight Watchers is set up like it is, because you have to go in, you have to get on a scale every week. So there's this moment. Of course, a lot of people just drop out because they don't want to face it. Okay. But if you're really committed to getting action, you get an accountability partner. And a great mastermind group will give that to you. So if you want more information on this, if this is something you're interested in, we have a couple amazing mastermind groups. You could reach out to us at support@reachtrader.com, and we could give you information on that. So, are you ready for a great year? Are you ready to have it all in 2024? There's time left. You can get to it. You could have this all done by Monday, but get to it. It is worth it. I'm here to give you tips like this to help you take your life to an elite level, to get it done and live elite in 2024. Happy New Year. I'll see you next week.